Good morning. Calling to order the special council meeting of the Jackson City Council. Today's date is November 24th, and the time is approximately 10:37 a.m. Let the record reflect that we do have a quorum, and we're going to get through this agenda as expeditiously as possible so that we can get down to the audit situation. We're going to start with, colleagues, are there any opening statements? No? All right. We're going to go ahead and start with item number 1.
Order appointing Akila Irving to the Board of Trustees for the Jackson Public School District.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Mayor, would you like to introduce this appointment?
Thank you, Mr. President. It gives me great pleasure to present to the City Council for its consideration of confirmation Ms. Akila Irvin, who is being selected for the Ward 1 position on the Jackson Public School Board. Ms. Irvin has a wealth of experience in quality control and manufacturing from some of the top manufacturers in our area. She has a dedicated history of service with Jackson Public Schools, having served on a number of committees involving the school board's bond authority as well as other activities, and she has at least one child within Jackson Public Schools. It may be more than one, but I don't have that information before me, but she's been working in a dedicated capacity in the Jackson Public Schools, and for that reason, we are offering her for confirmation by the
All right,
City Council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Irvin, if you don't mind, give us a little spiel, however you want to do it. We got a lot of confirmations today, and I don't want to cut your time down, but just be mindful if you don't mind, please. All right, thank you.
Absolutely. I'll be as expeditiously as I can.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to say good morning to Mayor Horn, staff, city council persons. I'm deeply honored to be nominated to serve as a voice on the Jackson Public School Board of Trustees for Ward 1. I myself attended JPS. I'm a graduate of Green Elementary, Chastain Junior High, Murrah High School. So not only am I an alumni of the district, I also have scholars that attend currently. So my reasoning or my desire to be a part of this space is because I am a dedicated parent. And I do feel that parents, as well as other community leaders and former educators, do deserve a space on that board. And so I'm offering myself up to serve my ward as a position on the board.
All right, thank you so much. Colleagues, we're going to take this one round. If necessary, we'll do 2. We're going to start with the lady from Ward 2.
Congratulations, thanks for serving.
Just like that. Ward 5.
Yes, thanks for volunteering, and I hope your tenure is very successful. There's a lot of work to do,
Absolutely.
a lot of things to look into. Thank you for volunteering, stepping up.
Thank you. Ward 6.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Ward 7.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your willingness to be here and to step up. What would you say are the greatest assets that JPS has currently?
What the assets are that JPS has, I believe that their staff and administration care 100% about their scholars. They have the mindset and the focus to do the right things by the school, by the scholars in the district. I also feel like the scholars are one of their greatest assets. I experience or have an experience with these scholars on a day-to-day basis as I interact with them in the many capacities that I volunteer in the district. And I can tell you that they have a desire to learn. They want to excel. They also want to know that the district is behind them 100%. And so that's why I'm offering up to serve, so that I can show them that not only is the district, but the community too is behind them being successful in their day-to-day activities.
Thank you. And are there specific goals you would have for your work on the school board?
So I am the biggest supporter of JPS, but I can also sometimes be its biggest critic. One thing I want the district to do is present a more valiant effort in trying to offer up for sale or repurposing the buildings that we're no longer using in the city. I know there's a big push to rid blight and some of our JPS facilities are contributing to that. And so, one, I want to make a valiant push to get those facilities repurposed. I want to see us move from a C district to an A district. We've been at a C district now for a couple of years, and I know there was a great effort put into moving us from F to C. Now we've got to do the work to go from C to A. And I think we can be a district of excellence. It takes the right focus and the right effort to get us there. I think thirdly, what I'd really like to see is for us to be competitive, so that JPS is the district of choice. And it's the reason that people want to live in the city, not the reason that, people want to leave. So those are my three main goals. I want JPS to be the reason why people feel Jackson is the best place to live in the Tri-County area.
Excellent. Well, I think you're extremely well qualified, and I share your vision and will happily be supporting your nomination.
All right, thank you. Colleagues, are there any more questions or comments about this appointment? All right, Ms. Irvin, I've shared this with you. I cannot vote for you today.
Yes.
And everybody, it's because, well, I'm an ethics professor, first of all, and I know ethics, but I also work for the district, which means she will be my new boss. So because of that, I'm going to recuse myself and give the gavel to Vice President Hartley so that we can run the vote, okay? And then I'll come back. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other comments from my colleagues? All in favor? Okay. Is there any visitors or anyone you'd like to recognize?
Oh, yes, I have a whole row.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you. I'll stand. So I have my mother, Barbara McGee. I have two of my children, Charles and Jackson, and then I have my sister, friend, circle, and sister-in-law. So you ladies can stand as well.
Very good. Congratulations.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Irvin, I knew you had at least one child in JPS. You have three in JPS. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. I want to acknowledge my current school board member, Mrs. Barbara Hilliard. Mrs. Hilliard, good morning. I want to recognize her. She's been a longstanding educator here in Jackson. I think she was the founder of the IB program here in JPS over at Jim Hill, and she has really served many, many great years as an educator here and a Bel Air resident. All right, we're going to move on, colleagues. Item number 2, please. Oh, yes, ma'am.
We also want to recognize Ms. Burbette Taylor, who is on the school board for Ward 2.
She was hiding back there. Hey, Ms. Taylor. I didn't see her back there. I apologize. All right, item number 2.
Order confirming the mayor's reappointment of Willie A. Cooper Sr. to the Municipal Election Commission.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Colleagues, any questions or comments about this reappointment? Hearing none, all in favor? 5-0? All right. Item 3, please.
Order confirming the mayor's reappointment of Sandra Griffin McCall to Municipal Election Commission.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about this reappointment?
Just a comment.
Yes, sir.
Ms. McCall has been a very, very hard worker, dedicated for political parties. She's been training our poll workers and just done a wonderful job for a long period of time. Thank you for your service, Ms. McCall.
All right. Any questions or comments about this reappointment? All right. Hearing none, all in favor? 5-0. Thank you. All right. Next.
Order confirming the mayor's appointment of Mia Dion McIntyre to the Municipal Election Commission.
So moved.
It's been moved and properly second. I've had an opportunity to meet with Ms. McIntyre. Her lovely mom has been our election commissioner for Ward 4 for many years. And when Ms. Sanders told me she was going home, I said, well, you can't go till you find your replacement. And so she didn't look too far to find her replacement. And I met with Ms. McIntyre. We had a really good conversation. But Mayor, if you would like to introduce her, you just want me to take it. All right, thank you. Ms. McIntyre, would you like to come up, please? How you doing this morning?
I'm well. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, if you don't mind, state your name for the record and just give us a little bit of your background, please.
Sure. My name is Mia Dion McIntyre. I've been a resident of Ward 4 my entire life. Of course, like you said, my mother had to find a great replacement. I've been doing the election polls for many, many years, probably about 15 or 16 years. I'm well versed in what they do there, and I'm just happy to be here. Happy to get an opportunity to serve the city of Jackson citizens.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, we're going to take this one round for this appointment. Lady from Ward 2, Ms. Clerk, Ms.
Congratulations. I know you've been schooled well. You will do a good job. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
serving.
I've been to say Ms. King. Sometimes I say King Clay. My apologies. Thank you. Ward 5.
Yes, first of all, thank you for stepping up and volunteering. Secondly, your mother is just hardworking, dedicated, focused, and I agree. The only way we can let her go is to have someone as equally
Got that
as passionate. Thank you so much for stepping up.
Thank you. Ward 6.
Thank you so much for wanting to serve. Thank you.
All right, Ward 7.
Thank you. I appreciate your efforts.
All right.
you.
As for me, again, we talk. I know you've been doing this a long time, and I look forward to your support. Ms. Sanders, say hello. Just wave your hand. All right. We really appreciate you so much. Colleagues, unless there's anything else, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor? All right. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Who did you bring with you today?
Today I brought my spouse, Jarrell McIntyre, of course, my mother, Linda Sanders, and my father, Larry Sanders.
All right. Welcome. Thank you so much. Next item, Clerk, 5.
Order confirming the mayor's reappointment of Anthony Bonacci to the Municipal Election Commission.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Colleagues, are there any questions or comments about this reappointment? Hearing none, all in favor? 5-0, thank you. Item 6.
Order confirming the mayor's appointment of Irene Williams to the Municipal Election Commission.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Mr. Mayor? Ms. Brown Thomas?
Okay, thank you. I am honored to introduce this person. She is my first lady of my church. I am so honorable to recognize her, to introduce her. She is a godly woman. Her name is Irene Williams. She is a proud Mississippi native from South Jackson who faithfully along her husband, Dr. Dennis D. Williams, as the First Lady of Greater New Cannon Creek MB Church. She is a retired clinical administrator supervisor from UMMC and have always had passion for healthcare. Outside of her ministry, Ms. Williams is an entrepreneur, having co-owned and operated Williams Consulting Educated Service with her husband since 2008. She also is a volunteer and passionate advocate for the community service. Her commitment to giving her leads challenge her love to community by visiting homebound hospitals and nursing facilities. Ms. Williams is deeply involved in numerous of organizations, working with Sister First Ladies, LLC, Working Together Jackson, and the Jackson District Ministry Wives and Widow. I would love to introduce Ms. Irene Williams.
All right, good morning, Mrs. Williams.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having
All
me.
right, if you can just state your name for the record and give us a little bit about yourself, other than
Irene.
what Ms. Brown told us.
Other than the dissertation she just gave.
Right.
To Mayor Horn and all the council persons this morning, thank you for having me. Irene Johnson Williams. I'm a native of Jackson, Mississippi. South Jackson. I'm South Jackson. Off Terry Road, Red Hill community. Mother and father, born and raised. Basically hit the ground running, doing everything that's necessary in order to keep the family, the children, the community active and involved, always working.
All right. Colleagues, we're going to take this, again, the first round. Ward 2, Mrs. Clay.
Congratulations and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Ward 5.
Thank you so much for stepping up and volunteering. I know I can feel the passion for South Jackson in your voice.
Thank you.
Ward 6, you got anything else?
No, sir.
Ward 7.
Thank you for being here and thank you for serving.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and call for the vote, colleagues. All in favor? All right, opposed? Oh, that's a high zero. All right, thank you, Mrs. Williams.
Thank you.
Did you bring anybody with you today? I know you know your better half.
Unfortunately not.
Okay, you say your better half is in a meeting. You gotta
He's
keep
in a meeting.
gotta keep the bread and butter on the table. Congratulations. Item 7, clerk.
Order confirming the mayor's reappointment of Michael Booker to the planning board.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Now, colleagues, I served on the planning board with Mr. Booker. That was a long time ago, and he was on there before me. Are there any questions or comments about this reappointment? He knows what he's doing. All right.
Mr. President, I'll just
Yes,
say
sir.
that I've known Mr. Booker for well over 40 years and found him to be a consummate professional in the banking industry, but also a great citizen, a great volunteer, and a great asset to the planning board.
Absolutely. I stand 10 toes down on that one. Any more questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? All right. Congratulations, Mr. Booker. All right. Item 8.
Order confirming the mayor's appointment of John David Cole to the Central Mississippi Planning and Development District, Inc.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so moving in proper second. Is Mr. Cole here? Come on down to the hot seat, Mr. Cole. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. It gives me great honor and it's a great privilege to nominate the owner and operator of the Country Squire, a very successful business here in the Jackson area. The work of Mr. John David Cole is very well known in our community. He's a great asset to the community, to his neighborhood, and it is for that reason that we wholeheartedly announced his appointment as the minority representative to the Central Mississippi Planning and Development District.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Cole, if you don't mind, just give us a little bit about yourself, please.
Yeah, Councilman President Griselle and council members, Mr. Mayor, John David Cole, been in Jackson now for 18 years and then grew up here as a young child and love the city, really excited to serve, God willing, in this capacity on the Central Mississippi Planning and Development District. It's, you know, an important avenue for a lot of resources to come into our city, particularly from the federal government. And so we want to make sure Jackson is well engaged and well positioned to leverage, you know, all the assets that are there, you know, particularly with matching funds. And, you know, this organization touches a lot of areas, public transportation, even Medicare, issues with the elderly. And so we just want to make sure that, you know, our Jackson folks are plugged in, and I'm honored by Mayor Horn to consider me. So thank you.
All right, awesome. Colleagues, we're going to go ahead and begin first round. Ward 2.
I have one question. He said minority representative, and so I'm wondering about that.
Yes, ma'am. My understanding is that there has to be a representative of a minority constituency within the city limits of Jackson, and so here I am.
Minority in terms of the 15% racial makeup, or tell me exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, my understanding is that yeah, it's the smallest percentage of the demographics of Jackson, and so they needed someone like me to serve, and I'm ready and willing at the mayor's pleasure.
All right, Ward 5.
Yes, first of all, thanks for volunteering. I did have a couple of items. One is we certainly hope you can, if confirmed, that you can pursue those valuable resources, because there's a lot of them out there. And I sometimes think the city of Jackson we could do a better effort in gaining those resources. But secondarily, GIS. I think, CMPDD has a host of GIS products, and I believe that we need a closer connection, just my opinion, between our GIS section and CMPDD in making daily decisions on how the city should be operated. So those two things, especially going after federal funding, finding what we have an opportunity for, and vigorously pursuing those things. But secondly, using those tools, all the tools of CMPDD, in order to make our city better. And so I'll be following up with you later on.
Be excited for that. Councilman Hartley, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ward 6.
Thank you.
Ward 7.
I have no questions. Thank you so much.
All right, colleagues, are there any more questions or comments? All in favor? All right, thank you. Congratulations. Did you come along today?
My wife is at home with our 2 young children because we couldn't get a babysitter, so. But,
It's Thanksgiving week. Everybody pays. Well, congratulations, Mr. Cole.
thank you.
All right, item 9.
Order confirming the mayor's appointment of Dr. Larry Nixon to the Central Mississippi Planning and Development District, Inc.
So moved.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Is Mr. Nixon, Dr. Nixon here?
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Nixon had to be out of town and unavailable. I'd like to speak on his behalf.
Okay.
Dr. Larry Nixon is a board-certified anesthesiologist, and he's a specialist in pediatric, cardiovascular, obstetric, and regional anesthesia, as well as critical care. He and his wife also own a business on Capitol Street called The Rookery, which is an event center that they've had a lot of important occasions that they've hosted there. And he's a great businessman, great lover of Jackson, and it's for that reason that we are nominating him for the Central Mississippi Planning and Development District. We think that he will, like the other nominees, work to bring more resources. We're leaving a lot of resources on the table at the PDD. And with the help of Mr. Nixon, as well as the other nominees, we expect that we'll get a better return on our investment at the Central Mississippi PDD.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Colleagues, are there any questions or comments for the mayor? Mr. Hartley?
Not for the mayor.
Oh, well, Dr. Nixon's not here.
Oh, yeah, well, for the mayor then. Actually, this is for Mr. Cole as well as Dr. Nixon. That is, we have a serious issue for blight in our community. And, I'd love to sit down with you, talk about it, but there are resources out there to address that. We need to go doggedly after those resources. The mapping products, GIS, pinpointing those locations, all that's going to fold into our overall strategy to clean up blight around the city. So your efforts, sir, you got the mantle.
And I will say that we are aware of the PDD's various offerings. And in fact, along with the city's GIS program, we have used some of the GIS resources at the Central Mississippi PDD to put together our market value analysis, which is going to be launched in early December. And one of the issues that market value analysis is looking at, of course, is blight.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you so much. Colleagues, are there any more questions or comments about this item? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, thank you. Item 10.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute a renewal agreement with Delta Dental concerning the provisions of a fully funded dental insurance plan for active municipal employees and retirees for the period January 1, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about this item? Mr. Hartley?
This item previously,
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
this item has previously come up before the council. Is that correct? Is there someone to speak on it? Perhaps are there any changes or
I can speak on it, Mr. Hartley.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, members of the council. So this was on last Tuesday's agenda, and it was pulled and put in Finance Committee. Finance Committee was converted to the special meeting this morning.
Okay.
The Delta dental rates impact the city of Jackson in no way, as dental rates are paid by the employees, not the city of Jackson. There is a nominal increase in the dental rates of about $2 per employee per pay period. So there is a small increase. We also looked internally at other competitors and other presentations. There were other presentations which would have been slightly lower cost to the employee, but would have had a much reduced dental network. And so trying to make an apples to apples comparison, the nominal increase passed on to the employees, $2 per pay period, seems the best recommendation to keep the dental network that most everyone is accustomed to using. Further, looking at the dental rates also caused us to look at the next item, the life insurance, as well as the health insurance. And that was my comment last week, that we have approached the mayor and he has authorized us to re-implement the Insurance Advisory Committee. Mr. Hartley, you may remember that was a functioning part of government when you were an employee of the government. We reestablished that, and in fact, our first meeting is at 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon. And we expect to be bringing back in the next couple of months a recommendation for agent of record, and then working with an agent of record, presenting a plan to go forward to look at our health insurance globally, as well as the other insurance benefits that we're providing to our employees. And Mr. Martin, city attorney, is on that committee. Toya Martin from HR is on there. I am on that committee. We have representatives from finance, so that'll be a cross-section that's come together because insurance is costing overall, employee benefit insurance is costing the city between $15 and $16 million a year.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson.
All right, Ms. Parkinson.
We heard public comment on this item. Can somebody remind me who was the individual who spoke to that public comment?
That would be Angela White. She's present here today. She said there was $100,000 savings on the table for the city. There's not $100,000 savings on the table for the city because employee dental is paid by the employees.
Okay. And then just a procedural question. I know this item was moved to committee. Today's meeting is not technically a committee meeting. Today's meeting is technically a special called meeting. Is it germane to bring this item back up today?
I'm going to defer to the city attorney procedurally with respect to answering that question. We would ask that you, if at all possible, bring it up today. And the reason being is we have set next week, and some of you may have seen this, as Benefits Week for our city employees as required by federal law. And so we would like to have these numbers finalized when we present them. You already had medical insurance, which we've simply rolled over. It's in the contract. We just didn't make a recommendation to exit that contract. So those rates are the same. Next year will be the big year on medical, and we will also reevaluate all these. But that's kind of our sense of urgency is you have Benefits Week next week.
We're able to vote on
Save you a few steps.
Drew Martin, City Attorney. The question is, tell me what your
Are we
question
able
is.
to vote on this item at our last regular council meeting was referred to committee. Today, we were initially supposed to have a committee meeting, I thought, at 10:30 today.
We
But
were.
I think that meeting is the meeting we are currently in right now is not technically a finance meeting. It is technically a special called meeting of the city council. And so I wanted to just verify that it's germane for us to even be considering this item.
I do think you're right. That's a good point. Procedurally, it needs to come out of committee to be voted on.
Okay. Mr. Parkinson, because of the framing of time, I decided to go ahead and put it back on the agenda. But if it's the will of the pleasure of this body, we can stick it back in committee. I know there are some reservations. I have a lot of reservations about it. In fact, today I'm gonna vote no about it. But if you all want to put it back into committee, I will do that.
I
Ms.
think
Clay,
we should put it back in committee and do the right thing by the two items.
not a problem. All right,
Meeting sooner.
that's fine. We're gonna go ahead and put those two items back into committee. So I need you to withdraw. Mr. Hartley, go ahead.
Final question. What's the timeline on this?
Well, I would defer to the HR director, but my understanding is because open enrollment begins December 1st, in terms of impacting the employees and what they are choosing, the timeline is between now and December 1st.
So we probably need a meeting this week then. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
My only concern is that we didn't give employees a pay raise, but we're passing on a higher cost to them. And I just don't feel like we've shopped this out well enough. We haven't heard from any other company, so, but again, it's the will of this body to put it back into committee. That's what we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and put it back into the committee.
I withdraw my second.
Thank you.
Did I make the original motion?
I withdraw.
All right, thank you. So that's that. What are those items, numbers, clerk? 10 and 11. All right, thank you. All right, item 12.
Order of the Jackson City Council acknowledging receipt of the City of Jackson's annual comprehensive financial report and audit of the State Tort Claims Fund for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Colleagues, any questions or comments about this item? I know we're going to discuss it in item 13, but we have to vote to receive it today. So before we can discuss this, are there any questions or comments about receiving it? Everybody should have their audit book. All right, hearing none, all in favor? All right, 5-0, thank you. Item 13.
Audit.
All right,
It's a discussion.
it's a discussion, my bad, that was my fault.
No, audit.
All right, so, Ms. CFO, Mrs. Caldwell, if you don't mind, give us a rundown of what we have here in front of us. I know that we received some things, and we got the book this morning. Mine, it's a little hot off the press here, but if you don't mind, please, go ahead and give us an overview.
Yes. Good morning. Jillian Caldwell, CFO. I will provide a general overview and some of the financial highlights from the city's 2023 annual financial report. Turning to page 2, this is the independent auditor's report from Tan Brown Russ. And although there's an adverse opinion for the aggregate discretely presented component units because the city did not receive the financial report from the Jackson Convention Center prior to the closing of the audit, we did receive an adverse opinion for that unit. The city's financial statements regarding the governmental activities, the business type activities, and the major funds received an unmodified opinion, which means that the financial statements were presented fairly. Turning over to page 22. The general fund increased its fund balance by a total of approximately $4 million, and that's Fund 1, which is our main operating fund, and the additional sub-funds of the general fund. Turning over to page 26. The water sewer disposal fund decreased its net position by $3.5 million, and the sanitation increased its net position by approximately $1.4. The cash flows on the next page, page 27, for the water sewer fund, the net cash provided by the operating activities was at a negative $32 million. and this is primarily from the operations of the water sewer fund. The sanitation fund decreased its net cash by 5.5 million. Cash at the end of the year for the water sewer fund was 5.8 million and 2.4 million for the sanitation fund. Turning over to page 48. There were some significant variances between the final budget and the actual transactions that took place within certain departments and funds, and they're highlighted on that page 48. Page 64 is a summary of the city's long-term debt by type. The governmental activities, which include your general funds and your non-major governmental funds, ended the long-term debt payable at 147 million. And the business type activities ended at 316 million, and that's primarily your revenue bonds and water sewer activity. In summary, as it relates to the governmental funds, at the close of the current fiscal year, the City of Jackson's governmental funds reported combined ending fund balances of 115 million, which is an increase of 10.5 million. I'm on page 7. On page 7, the financial highlights in the management's discussion and analysis. The governmental funds ended with a fund balance of 115 million, which is an increase of 10.5 million over the prior year. This is approximately 25%, which is 29.2 million, is unassigned fund balance. At the end of the current fiscal year, which is 2023, unassigned fund balance was 29.2 million, which is 28% of the total general fund expenditures. And the City of Jackson's total long-term debt increased by 11.5 million during this 2023 fiscal year. Now I will go to the findings, which is on page 212. And I will read the effect for each of the findings. The first finding is the financial reporting finding, and the effect is the audit process was significantly delayed while the city gathered the necessary information and prepared a preliminary draft of the act for audit. In addition, a significant number of adjustments to the accounting system and revisions were necessary during the audit process. Number 2, bank accounts. The city's internal financial reports did not accurately reflect cash balances and activity. Number 3, the investment accounts. The internal financial reports did not accurately reflect the balances and activity in the trust, escrow, and investment bank accounts, and one investment account was not reflected in the city's accounting system. Yes.
You're referring to numbers? Is there any particular numbers? Well, she's just going straight down each effect.
Mm-hmm. Not a number for us. It's a number right up between each finding.
Yeah, if you would, just make sure you could address the receivables and so forth.
Okay.
Just make sure you point it. I'm trying to catch that figure.
Yes, sir. 2023-004, material weakness receivables. The city's internal financial reports did not accurately reflect receivable balances owed to the city and the related revenues. 2023-005 material weakness receivables. Without appropriate allowances for uncollectible amounts, the internal financial reports overstated both the receivables, asset balances, and the related revenues. 2023-006 material weakness, grant reimbursement receivables. Grant reimbursements were significantly delayed. 2023-007 material weakness supplies inventory. The supplies inventory balances were not accurately reflected in the internal financial reports. 2023-008 material weakness liabilities. The city's accounting system did not properly reflect the balances owed by the city. 2023-009 liabilities, material weakness, liabilities for seized and forfeited cash. The police seized and forfeited cash liability reflected in the accounting system was not reconciled to the individual cases pending. 2023-010 material weakness fund balances. The city's liabilities were overstated and revenues and restricted fund balances were understated. 2023-11 material weakness lease revenues. Leases are a significant source of the revenue for the city, and with limited oversight from the city, lessees might underpay the city in connection with their lease obligations. 2023-12 material weakness expenditures classification. The city's internal financial reports did not accurately reflect capital outlay expenditures. 2023-13 material weakness purchasing procedures. The city may not have paid the best price for the services that it received. In addition, the rental invoices were not entered into the payment processing system in a timely manner, and many of these invoices were paid more than a year after the charges were incurred. 2023-14 non-compliance budgeting. The city was not in compliance with state statutes, and the city officials could be exposed to fines for budget violations. 2023-15 non-compliance budgeting. The public was not adequately informed of the budget revisions. 2023-16 non-compliance bank accounts. The city did not receive the correct amount of interest on its deposits with the bank. 2023-17 non-compliance bank accounts. The city was exposed to the potential loss of funds in the event of the bank's failure. 2023-18 non-compliance investments. The city was not in compliance with state statutes. 2023-19 non-compliance personnel. The city was not in compliance with federal regulations and state statutes. 2023-20 non-compliance timely pay statute. The city was not in compliance with statutory timely pay requirements. 2023 non-compliance bond covenants. The city was not in compliance with the bond covenants and bond ordinance. And the 2023-22 significant deficiency and non-compliance, federal awards cash management. The city held advances longer than the 3 days allowed. That concludes the findings as it relates to the financial statements. There's one finding for the major federal award programs. as it relates to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. The cash management significant deficiency and noncompliance at finding 2023-22 applies to the drinking water state revolving fund cluster. And this concludes the 2023 findings.
All right, colleagues, we're gonna go ahead and just open the floor for some questions or comments for Mrs. Caldwell. I know we just received this. Can you tell me clearly what we have in fund balance?
Sir?
Fund balance.
Yes, so within the normal course of our fiscal year, by us just ending in September, we normally close out the prior year's fund balance by the end of November. So we're expecting to have some final numbers by the end of this week, as far as where we are currently.
So for this 2022-23 audit, in this summary right here, I see, because you read some other stuff, but
So for the general fund in 2023?
well, I just see assets here. What is the fund balance for 22-23?
So on page 22, the general fund balance, which is Fund 1 and the sub-funds for the general fund, is $43 million.
Page 22.
22, yes. And the unassigned fund balance is on the prior page, page 20, and it is $29.1 million.
For the class, can you tell us the difference between the two? I know you have an MBA, I have an MBA. I don't know what everybody else got, but just to make sure, because I know some folks are still watching, what's the difference? And where does this put us? Is there anything we can spend, or what we're gonna do with it?
So you still have to look at the outcome of 24 and 25 to determine, what you have available to spend. But the difference between the 43 and the 29, there are some restricted fund balances within the general fund. Public safety, public works, they have some transactions that's allocated to the fund balance. And so that comes out of your 43 million, as well as the inventory, which is 878,000.
Okay. Colleagues? Mrs. Clay?
In reality, this says what we had at that time. Today's numbers are clear based on the current year, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Hartley?
And again, I think it bears repeating, this is our first look at this. One thing that jumps out at me is the number of repeats. Okay. Yes. Were there any new findings?
There were no new findings.
Okay.
We took off 2 findings.
We sat here last year and we went through, and the year before, and it seems as though we keep having these repeats. And I'm just curious, war story again, when I worked for the military, I was on the IG inspection team. When something like this showed up, everybody's gone, management-wise. That's just the reality of it. We should not have repeats. And I think last year we went through this and we assigned a team to just work on those repeats and stuff. So are we any better off now from 23 to now?
Yes, we are better off, but we do still have some improvement to make. We've been working with the departments to get a handle on the findings that are related to their areas. And the team, I don't think it really got on the ground good that was discussed last year. And so now CAO Tableson and I are working with the department heads to make sure that we're addressing these findings.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Parkinson?
Okay, first a question on the findings. So as has been mentioned, this is the FY23 budget. we're going to be launching the process for FY24 and FY25, but those years have done. Obviously, in audit, you look backwards. So can we expect to find the exact same findings? I mean, it sounds like now there's a plan, now we're going to be moving forward. But can we expect those same findings in 24 and 25, and then maybe even, because we're already a couple months into 26, you can put really, really good processes in tomorrow, but are we going to expect these findings on 24, 25, and 26?
Yes, so we have corrected some, but yes, you will be seeing some of these same findings transfer over to the 24 and 25 audits. In addition to that, some of the findings could be more of a management recommendation and may not be listed as a finding in your next audit. And so that would depend on the auditing firm.
Mr. President,
Mr. Tables.
may I echo CFO Caldwell? I think for your 2026 audit, the year we are in right now, that will be done after the close of September 30th of 2026, I would reasonably expect to be down to merely a handful of findings. I don't think we're going to be able to eliminate all of them in year one, but I do think, and I want to echo CFO Caldwell, we have been proactive. We've known these findings and been out here from the 22 audit, so we've been proactive at trying to deal with them. So I would expect, Councilman Parkinson, you'll probably see a high number for 24 and 25, a significant drop into 2026, and then I would hope in 2027 we're at 0.
Mr. Hartley.
Can you explain again the adverse opinion related to the convention center?
We did not receive the audit, the FY '23 audit from the convention center, and so we were not able to include their audit in our audit, and that's what led to the adverse opinion there.
Is their audit year, because I know this has been a question with Jackson Waters, Jackson Waters' audit year is a calendar year.
Yes.
Is that correct? But the convention center, what's their audit year?
They're on September 30th. We're able to just transfer their data directly to the financial report.
So are they just behind, or what was the reason for us not being able to get their FY23?
Yes, they are behind.
Okay.
So is there 24 available?
Is the convention center's 24 available? Not, to my knowledge, we don't have 23 yet. We have not received 23.
So you behind 2 years, you still behind 23?
Yes, we have I have not received the 23 audit. I think they're still working on that one.
So when we do 24, we already know.
Mr. Hartley.
Yeah, yes, thank you, Mr. President. My question is somewhat of a legal question, and I tend to perk up when it says that the council will be held accountable, possible fines. I'm living out my retirement and trying to enjoy my golden years here. What type of legal jeopardy are we in fact in, or exposure as members of the council? And that would determine on how nice we are to the finance folks going forward.
Drew Martin, City Attorney. So very generally, an individual council member can be held personally liable for approving of an expenditure that is not permitted by the budget or otherwise permitted by law. You do have a bond in place that is partial protection for that, right up until it's an intentional act of some sort. As I have not seen a specific finding from this audit that it would lead me to counsel anybody that have any particular concern, but it's worth digging into a little bit farther to make sure of that. For what it's worth, that is why we put legal sufficiency on all the items that come before council, and it's why part of that process includes showing where the money's going to come from.
And I appreciate that. And so, but overall, with all the repeat findings and so forth, we're not somewhat
Well,
responsible.
What I would say about this, real generally, yes, that increases the risk, right? The more a single person or entity shows repeating the same mistakes, the more it starts to look like deliberate indifference type of thing.
Okay, so-
Something that you know that better, but you're letting it happen anyway.
We really need to correct these issues
It's important.
going forward. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Clay?
In the future, when we vote on something, can we have the amount that was budgeted and what's left in the budget?
When you vote on something like what?
When you vote on anything that deals with money.
Okay. And I also would like to point out, some of these findings relate to Jackson water activity. And so we will need to make sure they understand that their findings are coming, to our plate as well.
Okay. Well, I know we currently have budget support with Mr. Thomas. And hopefully we'll get a firm, Mrs. Clay, colleagues that won't shut down during tax season, and we'll have that ongoing support. I don't even know why, never mind. But I guess we need to get on that pretty quickly so that we can go ahead and start tying up the rest of these audits. Next agenda? It's on the next agenda? Okay. What's on that next agenda?
Shanikia Jordan, Clerk of Council, to approve the audit firm, the auditor's firm.
We got one?
Yes.
No, ma'am, I did not think. I was presented a contract to review and approve, which we have done. I did not choose who sent me that contract.
Did the council give you a
The council didn't
contract?
do anything with that, so how you get a contract?
If, to my understanding, the council, recommended a firm and the administration.
Man, anything.
We
Okay.
We had a firm come talk, and we said we were gonna go through and figure out what was what. And that's what our finance meeting was about.
Okay. All right. Mr. Parkinson?
Finding 2023-10, it says the city's liabilities were overstated and the revenues and restricted fund balances were understated. I mean, again, I'm just getting this, but isn't that a really good problem to have? The liabilities were overstated and revenues were understated. Disregard that question. Disregard that question.
Yeah, the council didn't bring anybody forward, so we gotta talk about it. I know Chairwoman Clay is gonna schedule another meeting, but we may need to have some one-on-ones to kind of see what's what. Do we know of another firm other than the ones that came up?
I'm not against the firm that came up, but I thought we talked about, we were gonna see about seeing other firms, see what they offer and see how we were gonna do it and see what was in place and what the requirements were before we got an audit, as to give our finance department all the information so they would have everything in place before the auditor comes in and just give us these findings. Because if we have everything in place on the front end, we should not be having these findings.
Okay, so because timing is a bit of the essence here, and we need to go ahead and start on these other audits. If Chairwoman Clay can get with legal, the CFO, the CAO, kind of get down, and then do some one-on-ones, maybe some 102s, and maybe schedule a meeting for early next week, then we can go ahead and move forward with this. How does that sound? Do we have to meet Wednesday? We have a meeting Wednesday?
You can't do them the same day?
You could, yes.
They can be done the same day. You go schedule for Wednesday?
If the earliest meeting can be Wednesday, then we'll just have the other one, adjourn one and go into the other one.
You got that, clerk? I know you won't be here. You'll have it set up. All right. All right. All right, so that's that. Is there anything else, colleagues? Okay.
Is this public?
It has not been put on the website yet. We normally wait for your approval, accepting the audit and having the audit in your hands before we put it on the website.
But we can share this. This is
Oh,
not
yes.
under embargo. This is, everybody is able to.
It is a public record.
It's public record.
Yes, and we'll be requesting to put it on the website after this vote, so.
Okay, thank you.
I got a little bit of concern about you sharing something you haven't adopted yet. I mean, I don't expect it to change, but if you share it before adopting, I'm not sure. Getting inside the public record, I think that is the same with the insurance issues and coming out of committee or voting on it. So Councilman Parkinson, while it is ultimately going to be public record for sure, I think out of an abundance of caution, it would be better for the council to vote to accept the audit, and then everybody can make it public record as well as putting it on the website.
When does that happen, clerk?
You can do it right now. You just haven't called for a vote yet, but yeah.
Oh, we already did it.
Okay.
Okay, there it is. Come on, Mr. Tables. You confusing me today.
My bad, I was looking at something else. Y'all slid that one by so quiet.
I don't. Yeah,
All good to share it.
thank you, sir. Is there anything else, colleagues?
Nothing like Scrooge news at Christmas.
All right. Well, check your emails for the notices for Wednesday's meeting, okay? All right. Is there anything else come for this body? Hearing none, we are adjourned.